Hi, I'm Susan Kennard, and I decided that I would do some goddess readings today. I was a little late coming on. I'm 10 minutes over the time I said I would because I was working with a client and it ran over a little tiny bit. But I wanted to be here and do some goddess readings. Now, the reason for that is that I have felt over the last sort of 3-4 months that the goddess energy has been really prevalent within us. And I created a program called the Goddess Program, and it starts on Friday. And so I felt really drawn to just offer you a reading, a goddess reading, just to see what you needed to know about being your goddess self. Okay, so whoever comes on is very welcome to have a reading. And I've just got to have a see if I can see the comments, because it is sometimes really hard to see comments on this live. So I do have my phone here as well, which is a really good thing. So I can see if people can see me, which would be really good. Okay. Let's just see. So one of the things I'll talk about before anyone comes on, or anyone can I can see any messages, is that being your true goddess self does not mean you have to walk around in a gold dress or have to walk around in white, reflecting what we might think a Greek goddess is. Really what it's about is to be in your divine feminine. Now, part of being in your divine feminine is to be in receiving mode. So, receiving means that we can receive gifts from the universe, we can receive love and abundance into our life, we can receive opportunities, and that we're not just giving. And sometimes what happens is that we are in this mode of just giving all of the time. So we end up giving all our energy, or we might give away a lot of time or energy or whatever for free, and we're not receiving it back. So that doesn't mean you don't give your time. It doesn't mean you don't do free videos. It doesn't mean you don't give of yourself. That's not what I'm saying. There needs to be a true balance of what we might say a symbiotic relationship with giving and receiving. So when we give and receive, we're able to actually feel that we have a balance with it. And when we have a balance with it, we're able to be in that vibration of attraction. And so what I mean by that is that our point of attraction is that of abundance. So when we are of a vibration where we're constantly, giving our energy and constantly just giving out all of the time, and we're not receiving, then essentially what we're doing is we're not truly loving ourselves. And we might be looking outside of ourselves to fill that hole or feel that need that we feel we're going to get by just giving all of the time. And what's coming to me as the guides are kind of connecting and kicking in here is that I'm feeling that some of you maybe feel that you need to give to receive, and that's not actually true. When you are in vibrational alignment with giving and receiving, you are in that space where it just kind of comes naturally that you would say thank you and be in gratitude for receiving. So you're in that space where you can feel that you can receive, you're grateful for receiving, and then you are in a space where you can give more, if that makes sense. So I have these beautiful goddess cards here. It's called Goddess Power. And I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is, because I can't see anybody who wants a card at the moment, so what I'm going to do, I'm guided to do, is to let me see who they're from. Colette Baron Reid. She's someone who I read her books many years ago. She's a really beautiful spiritual teacher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the universe to bring me a card, and I'm going to tune in about it and talk about it. Okay. So what do you want me to talk about? Let's have a look. The moon. Ah, fantastic. If you look at this card, isn't that absolutely stunning? Let's find it. The moon. Okay. So this is really interesting because actually on Monday we have the full moon event, which I run, which are donation events. But I'm running this event alongside the eclipse. So we've got an eclipse as well, a lunar eclipse. And so what I'm feeling about this is this, I've been guided to kind of pick this one. Get the thing right there. Been guided to pick this one because the moon is really important, and especially when we are a woman, because we are very connected to the tides of the moon. You know, essentially we are moon goddesses, right? So if you feel really drawn to the moon, then it might be that at this time, definitely, you might be more emotional. The moon in your chart, in your astrological chart, is really to do with your emotions and how you are responding to those emotions. And so depending on where the moon is in your chart, in your astrological chart, will depend on what focus you have with that, which would be really interesting. And having water now, that tells me that really essentially we need to be hydrating a lot more this time, because the full moon is very much about coming to culmination. So what have we put in place so that we can bring something to culmination? So this full moon is actually in Gemini. So I wonder where Gemini is in your chart. And if you pop over to my website, susankennard.co.uk, and go on to events, you'll see a video there which tells you how to find where something is in your chart and how to download a free chart as well. And feel free to sign up to our moon events, because they obviously run twice a month and they're donation. So let me let me see what else we've got here. And I just want to check that I'm not missing your messages, because sometimes there is a delay with these things. Let's just have a look. Okay, so let me just see what else the guides want me to talk about. Let's see what else is there. Independence, yeah. But Lilith, this is Lilith. So Lilith is another, it's called Black Moon Lilith, and it's in your astrological chart. But what I want to talk about here is this is independence. So this is a really, really interesting point, because when we stand in our true goddess energy, we are living our own independence. That doesn't mean that we don't have partners and we don't share the world with everyone else and we're not isolated. It's not what it's about. It's about living in your own in independence. And what that is making choices from a place of power and not from a place of giving your power away. So when you make choices from a place of empowerment, you feel independent of that. You're not actually expecting somebody else to tell you what to do. You'll never find me doing that in any of my work. It's always about empowerment. But you'll never find, you'll never get your own independence, and you'll never get your own power if you expect somebody to tell you what to do. Because that's just the child part of you that felt that you needed someone to tell you to feel safe. And that's okay. And we see a lot of that in the world at the moment. But wouldn't it be amazing if everybody could stand in their true empowerment and make choices from that place? You know, that's what I hold the space for. I hold the space for everyone to make their own choices. and not from a place of fear, but from a place of their own knowing and their own inner guidance, and not from a place of perhaps being told by someone or watching something that somebody else thinks is a good idea for you. And I suppose that's a really good point of why this card came up. And it is really important to make your own choices in the world. It's not, you know, we were never meant to be told what to do. We were always, we were always meant to make our own choices. We were never meant to be told what to do. That's why it's quite an interesting time at the moment, as you can probably imagine. Right, so I'm going to pull another card and see what the guides want me to talk about. And feel free, if you want a card, just let me know. What's this one? Sophia, Divine Wisdom. Yeah, it's a beautiful card, this one, actually. If you look at this card and you look at her, let's get this right. Look at the top where her crown is lancing. I think you're going to love this card, Sophia. So essentially, where does our wisdom come from? You know, our wisdom doesn't come from the television. It doesn't come from someone else. Our wisdom comes from within. And so when we're able to fully align to that wisdom, you know, that inner wisdom, then we're able to make those choices and make our own decisions in the world, right? And be independent with that. Some of the things, and I'm really getting this as a strong download, some of the things that stop us from standing in our divine wisdom are fear. That's a key one. So when we're in fear, then we shut off that space where we can really channel our own inner wisdom. Okay, does that make sense? Other things are, you know, we have a pineal gland in our brain. Other things that stop that light from coming in and that wisdom from coming in is things like fluoride, medications obviously, but other things like that that stop us from really receiving that light. It's really important to receive that light, and especially now at this time it's important to really bring that light in so that we can feel that we can tap into our own inner wisdom. What else do you want to say about that? Yeah, okay. So what I'm also being guided to say here is that the inner wisdom, we are channeling that, and we're channeling it from universal guidance as well. So we have many incredible beings of light and helpers and universal guidance that come in and support us on our journey. And it's our job just to tap into that and to really feel that sense of connection once again, rather than feeling the fear and feeling that we're doing it on our own. And even if we are physically on our own in the physical sense, if we tap into that inner wisdom, then we're never ever on our own, because we know that we've got that sense of connection to everyone. There is no separation, there's no divide. And when we remember that, then we can really come into that space of making choices from a space of empowerment. And what I'm really guided to do actually is just take you through a little connection exercise which might help you throughout your day. So I'm going to keep my eyes closed, but if you feel drawn to close your eyes, then that would be really good, because you can really come into your heart space. So just come into your heart space, put your hands on your heart, and just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just feel that sense of peace and calm as you start to breathe into your heart center. Fantastic. And as you do that, I want you now to imagine that you can see a light in your heart. And just imagine that that light, every breath that you take, Just imagine that light getting brighter and brighter. And just really feel that sense of light coming into your body, coming into your heart space, but also filling up the whole of your body. So filling up the whole of yourself. Expanding the whole of yourself. Feeling that sense of connection. And now I want you to imagine that there is a star underneath your feet and a star above your head. And just feel that sense of connection to those stars. Fantastic. And just imagine that there is a beam of light coming down from the star above your head, which is your soul star, and the star beneath your feet, which is your earth star. And just imagine that you can feel that beam of light coming down. Some of you will be able to see it, and others of you could just imagine it, and that is perfect. And just feel that sense of connection. And if you are worried about yourself or what's happening in the world, just for that moment, feel that sense of peace and calm and connection. Good. And now, if you were to know, and if you could invite that inner wisdom to come into your heart, what would it say to you? What would your inner wisdom tell you at this time? What would it say? Just listen. And let me know in the comments what your inner wisdom would say. What would it tell you? Well, thank you so much for joining me. Come back when you're ready. Thanks for joining me on here. Share it if you feel it will help somebody. And if you feel drawn to join our Goddess program on Friday, pop over to susankennard.co.uk where you can find all the details on the events. Okay, much love for now.